Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, pertaining to wherever you might be located in the world. My name is Hertej, and I am a marketing specialist at Statusbrew. Today, we're going to talk about all the marketing tactics that are coming up and will be very useful for you to adopt in the next year, 2019, that is. And just a little housekeeping before we get started. All the attendees have been muted for the best experience of the webinar for all of you, and the recording for this webinar is going to be shared with all of you within this coming next week. And I would also like to say that whenever you have any questions, please send those in to us, and you will have the answers to all of them by tomorrow. And now we're just going to wait for like about a minute, like always, just for the other attendees who might have got a little late to join us. And then we'll jump right into the agenda for the day. Hello, everyone, again. Today we are going to talk about all the marketing trends, tactics, or the marketing ways that you can adopt in the coming next year that we have done research on. We've saw that like the results for them are blooming and they're increasing, and these are new ways that you could adopt to market yourself in this coming year. So do remember, there is no such thing as the best digital marketing strategy. We need you to understand that marketing is not an exact science. It is on experimentative basis, actually, like you experiment and you learn. By that token, you need to play with the variables, test it out, and keep refining your strategy for optimal results. These advancements in technology will be more prevalent in the coming year. All these things that we are going to talk about, that we've already noticed them gaining traction, and you will definitely see them blooming in the next coming year, and you could adopt them. And so these are going to be prevalent in the coming year with improved versions, and they will also increase in demand. Join us on Twitter, use the hashtag BrewTalk. We will connect with you. Whatever comments or questions you have, please just use that hashtag and join with us, and we will get back to you for sure. That's my picture. I'm your host for the day, Hertej, and the agenda for the day. So we're going to discuss, like, we saw all the marketing tactics trends for the coming year, actually, and we will talk why are these strategies important, and implementing them to your business's marketing could be very beneficial for you in the coming year. So the first one we are going to talk about is augmented reality. This has been gaining traction. So augmented reality is an enhanced version of a real physical world through the use of visual elements. And they also use sound and other sensory like stimuli that we have. It is a growing trend among companies involved in mobile computing and business applications in particular. Amid the rise of data collection and analysis that's done by companies, one of augmented reality's primary goal is to highlight specific features of the physical world. Increase and also means to like increase understanding of those features and derive smart and accessible insight that can be applied to real world applications. Such big data can help inform companies to make like their decisions in their decision making and gain insight into customer spending habits and one of those things among others. Augmented reality continues to develop and become more pervasive among a wide range of applications. Since its conception, marketers and technology firms have had a battle, like the perception that augmented reality is little more than marketing tool. It gives you more benefits than that. However, there is evidence that consumers are beginning to drive tangible benefits from this functionality that they have and expect it as a part of their purchasing process. For example, some early adopters in the retail sector have developed technologies designed to enhance the shopping experience that all these buyers have, and by incorporating augmented reality into catalog apps, like even the stores let consumers visualize how different products would look like, in like different environments. Like they can just picture it how it would look, and like get a picture about that. So for furniture, shoppers point the camera at the appropriate room and the product appears in the foreground. So just giving them a picture that how that thing would look if it's lying over there. And uh, and when IKEA began implementing augmented reality back in 2013, that's like 5 years back from now. This year's almost gone. The use of augmented reality in retail seemed ready to flourish at that time when they started using it, sorry. And by linking digital information like product images, text, and video over representations of physical world, augmented reality would provide retail with a major opportunity. The technology has been slow to catch up if you compare it to the other technologies, although it's been going a little slower than rest how they caught up like in the time that they used. But this has been like using a little more time. But however, while some of the retail stores are experimenting still with augmented reality applications, the technology is going to see more development in this coming year, that's 2019. And augmented reality is starting to be used and represents opportunities for retailers on and offline to increase engagement, like for all those people who are connected with them. And this was said by Worley. Analysts think that augmented reality will drive engagement with younger shoppers as soon as brands start rolling it out. So this should be made use of, if you can incorporate this, if your business is like that, that you could incorporate augmented reality into that, like for just for example, if you're into furniture, or like other products that like homely products that people can just see, that how visualize that how they will look. So you should definitely make use of this. So the next tactic that you need to keep in mind for the next year is the rise of voice assistants. The ultimate luxury for us would be an assistant who always listens to our call and anticipates, like, our every need, and takes action whenever it is necessary. We ask the like our assistant to do that, and it's done. That luxury is now available thanks to artificial intelligence assistants, also known as voice assistants. And voice assistants come in somewhat small packages and can perform a variety of actions after hearing a vague word or command, like like you say when you want to pursue Google's, you say on your phone, if you're using an Android, that is, you say, "Hey Google," and that thing is initiated. So they always have like a call word that you go with. These are some of the examples that they can do for us, that they can turn on lights, answer questions, play music, like they can place online orders, etc. Like, if we can get all that done just by telling them do that. Voice assistants are not to be confused with virtual assistants. Remember that, which are people who work remotely and can therefore handle all kinds of tasks. Rather, voice assistants are technology based. As voice assistants become more robust with time, like they learn how they're used and then they adapt to that. Their utility in both the personal and the business realms will grow as well with time. You will notice that. Many devices we use every day utilize voice assistants. They're on our smartphones and inside smart speakers that we use in our homes. Many mobile apps and operating systems use them as well. Additionally, certain technology in cars as well as in retail education, healthcare, and telecommunication environments can be operated by voices. So you just tell them what to do, and it'll be done. And according to Adobe Analytics, they did this survey. 71% of the owners of smart speakers that like either they have incorporated Alexa, that's from Amazon, Siri from Apple, or Google Now from Google, or Cortana in their like voice assistants. 76% of the users who owned these kind of speakers, like they increased their usage of such speakers in the past 1 year. Voice enabled apps also are becoming a prevalent part of our everyday lives, changing the way brands and consumers interact. The number of use cases of enabled apps is increasing every single day. In fact, just last month, Google launched a new Android app called Voice Access. It helps people with mobility and motor impairments, like they want to control that, or they want to control their devices. With this app, users can get more specific with their controls, such as being able to use their voice to tap buttons or adjust controls and navigate within apps. So this technology, you need to incorporate this as well. So this actually makes it easier for there's like a age gap between, like, for the elderly people, it's kind of hard for to be using, like, to be typing and all that. But once this is in the mainstream, it's easier for them to search things, to like whatever request they have, that can be done. The next thing we're going to talk about is video marketing. I think in 2019, social media marketing will be dominated with videos because people have changed from reading to watching. People don't have the time to read. Everybody is busy. If you see, multitasking has been increased. So people would love to see videos rather than recording posts or writing blogs. Zenith, the website, predicts online video consumption will grow by an average of 9 minutes per day each year until 2020. And while cord cutting in major markets like US is to increase over the same period when that increases. Per a report by IHS Market, Zenith's findings show increase over the same period. And whatever study Zenith's findings show, the digital marketing, the digital video or marketing video audience is becoming more engaged, reiterating that brands shouldn't let their foot off the gas pedal, and in terms of developing their digital presence as well. Ever since video marketing made its way into inbound marketing, more prominently in recent years, it hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. Nowadays, it's the medium of choice of marketers looking to distribute content and increase engagement. Take a look at some of the video stats that we have. 70% of the consumers say that they have shared a brand's video. This was according to the study done by Wyzol, WYZOWL. Another study by them, it also said that 72% of the businesses say that video has improved their conversion rate, whatever they like, the ROI that they get out of it. 52% of the consumers say that watching product videos makes them more confident in online purchase decisions, when they're buying a product. And 65% of executives feel the marketer's website, and 39% call a vendor after viewing a video about a product. So this should definitely, you should incorporate video in your marketing as well. Like, either these are know-how, or like know-how videos that to be use your product, or like videos about talking, like videos talking about how your product is good. So these kind of advertisements are catching up. The next tactic we want to talk about that you should incorporate is about messengers and chatbots. This actually engages the activity, whatever your customers get online. And chatbots have grown, especially in 2018. Like, if you see last couple of months, you'll see that a lot of the brands have started incorporating chatbots into their, like, marketing, and as well as like when people ask questions, when their customers ask questions, so they already chatbots have they already answer them back, or get in a communication with them regarding, like, like usually asked questions and all that. People would like to reach businesses by messaging in this time now. They don't mind to chat with bots for small information, as I told you guys. Marketing information is the fabric that is weaved throughout the digital marketing industry. Automation seeps its way into every strategy that we have, providing new ways for companies to grow relationships with prospects without having to dedicate the same time and effort that they once had to do in the past. However, marketing automation is a strategy unto itself, like, if you see. But when you make the when you make the decision to place your focus on automated systems, it becomes a big part of everything that you do. Marketing automation has grown rapidly in the recent years and has shown no signs of slowing down. And as we make our way into 2019, we see chatbots, the marketing done through them is like gaining a lot. Chatbot marketing is a marketing automation practice that is still relatively new to digital marketing scene. Still, the strategy has so much potential and has received enough attention in 2018 this year that we think that it should stand alone on this list. Chatbots are simply bots that can hold conversations with customers. Facebook chatbots are among the most popular. They use the Facebook Messenger platform to receive feedback from customers, deliver important information, and guide users through the buyer's journey. Facebook Messenger has more than 2 billion users in 2018, and the platform is severely underutilized based on its reach. Even with Facebook endorsing, using Facebook Messenger for business and debuting an entire platform for managing those interactions, companies still see chatbots as some of the some sort of sideshow. Like, don't want to incorporate chatbots because they still think that they are not as efficient as a normal person. And this is going to change in the coming year, 2019, as the increased awareness of 2018 starts to trickle down into real world applications that will reach more customers. Customers are becoming immune to traditional messaging and want to interact with your business. They want like a human touch to it, when they want, where they want, and how they want. And messaging is proving this to be the preferred way to interact. So you should definitely, like, if there are some basic questions that are asked again and again from your sources or from your, like, your your customer care services, you could definitely incorporate chatbots that answer straight away to the recent, to most commonly asked questions, so that your customers, the people who are, like, connected to you, don't have to wait as much. You can definitely incorporate this in your business. Next, we're going to talk about content marketing. This is the fifth tactic we're going to talk about. Content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. This has been growing for 3 years now. Good content attracts the audience. As always said, content is king. The more you make it creative and more you get followers. So do remember, as I said before, content is still the king of marketing. In content marketing, instead of pitching your products or services, you are providing truly relevant and useful content to your prospects and customers to help them solve their issues, whatever they have on hand. It's a perfect time to start thinking ahead to adjust your plans for the next 12 months. Here are some tips to get you thinking of what you need to improve in 2019. So, first of all, the first thing is that get the basics right. Whatever you're doing for the marketing of your company, you need to look into that. A good way to start the year is to review your existing strategy. Find the time to get together with your team to discuss all the things that worked well in 2018 and what needs to be. A good way to start the year is to review your existing strategy. Find the time to get together with your team to discuss all the things that worked well in 2018, this passing year, and what needs to be improved in the next year, 2019. The second thing is improve your distribution tactics. So, like whatever content you're producing, you need to make sure that it reaches maximum people. So, content distribution can be a key part of your content marketing strategy. It's not enough to create good content if you cannot show it is the right audience whom your content is reaching. And then you have the next point is focus on your best performing channel. So content marketing is changing with this going time. We've left behind the need of being on as many as many channels as possible. Now it's the time to explore your best performing channels, to use them more strategically. Find the channels that your target audience spends most of the time on, and craft a strategy to reach them. Then you should narrow down your audience. Content marketing is not necessarily about reaching as many people as possible. Even if you're not aiming for like large scale campaign to improve your awareness, you still have a target audience in mind. And then we have, don't just create content for the sake of it. It's tempting to come up with new content ideas even on daily basis. However, we've reached the stage that there's too much content out there, but not enough time to consume it. Right before creating your next piece of content, think of objectives that you want to achieve from it. Does it fit your content marketing goals? Is it like relevant for your target audience? Does it offer like something new and useful for the audience who is watching your content? Then we have allow time and budget for experimentation. It's great to use most of the time focusing on your best performing channels, but it's still useful to allow some time to try out new ideas. Find the new emerging channels and promotion tactics that might be your next big parts of your strategy. That might be your next big parts of your strategy. And lastly, we have put your audience first. The best way to ensure that your content marketing strategy stays successful for the next coming 12 months is to keep listening to your audience needs. If your target audience or your objectives change over the last 12 months because you change the product that you sell or the strategy that you go, then you need to reflect that changes on your content marketing strategy. The sixth one we are going to talk about is programmatic advertising. Programmatic advertising, or marketing, is a way to target the type of audience you wish to show your advertising to, which can encompass segments across demographics such as age, gender, social standing, and up to even geographic locations, in certain areas of the country. As with paid search, you can also limit the ads to times of the day and frequency. You can decide which publishers you want your ads to show on and which channels you want to push your ad on. This way, you are only paying for highly effective ads that you already know are going to give you good returns, and they're delivered to the right people at the right time. It's a change from traditional ad buying. No longer a buyer agrees to run a certain number of ads with a publisher and is like locked into the contract whatever they have with that channel that they're advertising themselves on. Programmatic media buying, marketing, and advertising is the algorithmic play, purchase, and seal of advertising space in real time. During this process, software is used to automate the buying, placement, and optimization of media inventory via a bidding system. Automating the process means that it can be done in real time and doesn't rely on the human touch, manual insertions, and manual trading. Programmatic media buying has been showing continuous growth at least since 2014. By the end of this year, 2018, it is predicted to become the primary advertising method according to eMarketer, with four of every US digital display dollars transacting programmatically, whether in private marketplaces or via real-time bidding. Ad buyers and sellers are moving away from performance solutions in search of improved precision and greater efficiency. The US is leading the way in adoption of programmatic technologies, while the UK and China trail with smaller ad spends. At the same time, the incremental growth rates worldwide, and especially in China, show potential for programmatic technology. Exponential growth is also predicted for Southeast Asia. As we've noticed here at Clicky, there is a big gap to be filled in Asia, and a number of enterprises are looking to advertise on a varying scale. The growth trends are also impressive in mobile, By 2019, nearly 80% of the programmatic ad spending will be for mobile devices. Programmatic has become indispensable for buying ads. And if the trend continues, both major brands and publishers could be moving exclusively to programmatic. One of the key challenges of programmatic media buying market is the lack of transparency. There are too many intermediaries between advertisers and publishers, which means less control over expenditures. Clearly has witnessed the pervasiveness of non-transparent business practices in the US media buying industry, which has pushed some of the companies to move programmatic media buying in houses actually. The answer to this challenge could come with more comprehensive solutions, which combine several tools for media trading. The key features of programmatic make it one of the essential instruments in the media buying toolset for marketers worldwide. While still facing challenges like fraudulent traffic, programmatic offers a competitive, if not yet perfect solution for running like efficient campaigns on like every scale and every unvarying scale. So you definitely need to make out where your target audience is, and so that you can plan like your ads to show up on those platforms as well, so that your expenses decrease and it's more efficient to target the exact people who can be your customers. Next, we're going to talk about influencer marketing. Influencer marketing involves using key brand advocates to drive your message, whatever you're putting to a larger market in an organic way. It pinpoints people with large social followings who have sway over your target audience, then focuses marketing endeavors featuring those key influencers. Rather than marketing directly to a large group of consumers, you instead pay influencers to get out the word for you. For example, a testimonial from an individual influencer, such as a journalist, academic, or YouTube personality, plays the part of the buyer and talks or writes in length about the product's features and benefits. Trust pays. Remember that. In an era where consumers have never been hungrier for reviews, like ratings and word of mouth recommendations, influencers are the key to unlocking their trust and dollars. Not long before technological advancements, scheduled television was virtually only the mass media consumers had access to, and was one of the main platforms that were used by marketers for advertising to the masses. Today, with the creation of the internet and the popularity of social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, consumers have unlimited freedom and choice over the content they wish to view. This creates a problem for brands as their target audience continues to spread out over various forms of media. It becomes increasingly difficult to reach them. As a result, marketers discovered that influencer marketing could offer a solution to the problem. It allows brands to locate and advertise directly to the target audience. Consumers are becoming increasingly skeptical of brands and their marketing tactics, and building trust is crucial. Advertising through influencers allows brands to promote through someone that a niche community watches and follows. and they engage with and trust on a daily basis, whatever content they put out. So instead of being skeptical of a commercial or social media ad, consumers are trusting that if their influencer of choice loves the product that they want to buy. Next, we're going to talk about that in the coming year. You need to concentrate on Generation Z for your marketing. So, Generation Z is widely recognized as the next consumer powerhouse. Now, all 22 or younger Generation Zers are expected to account for about 40% of all the consumers by 2020. That's a lot of emerging shoppers. It won't be long before understanding the Generation Zers perspective, and it will be a key, like it will be a key to the marketing success of a business. A significant difference in Generation Z's multifaceted approach to social media. Generation Z uses different platforms for different activities. On Instagram, they showcase their aspirational selves. On Snapchat, they share real life moments. On Twitter, they get the news. And on Facebook, they glean information. According to a study recently conducted by Response Media, Atlanta based digital customer relationship management agency, brands that don't adapt to the way Generation Z consumes messages will lose market share. For example, marketing emails to Generation Z consumers that don't tell a quick story with relevant value relevant value might be ignored by consumers who are eager to check out the next message. Brands also might be misunderstood if their messages don't communicate with Generation Z in the right way. Companies' marketing messages need to be very clear about what they stand for so that their brands are not interpreted as uninvolved or opposed to the social causes like that are important to the Generation Zers. And when it comes to communicating with these consumers, it's all about the fit. Marketing posts must be tailored to each social media platform while keeping the overall message the same across the web on all your channels. Social media managers and marketers must know which platform are used for what and ensure that their brand's messaging and second across all of them. You might have only a few seconds to grab a Generation Z's attention after all, while a millennial or Generation Xer might stop for a moment to read a long post. Generation Zers want to get straight to the point and move along the way to the next post. So you should definitely incorporate this, that your marketing, whatever marketing tactics that you are incorporating are like for generations years, as well as they're going to be the biggest part of the buying market in the coming time. Next we'll talk about is growth hacking, the ninth point. So if you've been paying attention to recent trends in digital marketing industry lately, you probably have like a good and a fair amount of idea about growth hacking. If you aren't aware of what growth hacking entails, in growth hacking, every strategy that you take, that you execute, tool you use to and technique that you use to gain traction is informed by your design for growth. Often in growth hacking, traditional processes take a backseat to results. Growth hackers view the digital landscape as battleground and see their jobs as fighting in that battleground and rising above the competition at whatever the cost may be. They use data as their weapon and creativity as vehicle. Growth hacking often employs small techniques known as hacks Growth hacking often employs small techniques known as hacks that help companies to drive demand and growth. Often, these strategies are in a moral gray area, which is one of the reasons why like growth hacking has remained on the outskirts as a strategy. Although many call it a buzzword, growth hacking remains top of mind for entrepreneurs looking to grow and scale their businesses quickly. A phrase coined by Sean Ellis, growth hacking involves experimentation of different marketing approaches to exponentially grow sales. This year, we expected to see marketers explore search engine optimization and video marketing as growth hacking methods. However, companies see the results that the practice is able to provide and want it for themselves, which is why we will see growth hacking take an even a larger jump into mainstream marketing circles in 2019. So these are the nine points that we see that are going to gain traction in this coming year. And if you incorporate them well in time for your business, you will definitely see benefits out of it. And hopefully, this has been helpful for you, all this information. If you, again, let me remind you, if you have any questions, please post them in so that we can get back to you and answer all of them by tomorrow. And again, to the recording for this webinar is going to be shared with all of you within this coming 1 week. Thank you. Take care. Bye.